right, so we are going to start at the blank wall. You'll need your chair with the back to it and your wedges, your mat, and that is it. All right, so I'd like you to start standing at the wall. Your feet are hip distance apart, and you're going to reach your arms way up high for me. So your feet are just slightly back away from the wall, and let's have your right foot right underneath of your hip. You're going to cross your left foot across in the front, and I want you to take your hips and you're going to glide them over to that left side a little bit. Okay, so you're trying to increase the space in between the right bra line and right pant line here, and you're maintaining that. Inhaling out and back into the right ribs, engaging the side of this right hip to avoid your hip from pushing out to the side. Okay, so you want to feel like this hip is coming towards midline, and then also like kind of up on the diagonal to your left. So you're not just doing like a sheer force to the side. I want you to inhale out and back into the right ribs, and then as you exhale, you're going to take your right hand and place it onto your right shoulder without dropping through that side of the waist. So we're avoiding this. And reach it back up, inhaling. And exhale, hand tap shoulder. And inhale back up. And exhale. And trying not to dip down into that right hip, right side of the waist. Good. Last time. Good. Go ahead and come out of that. Shake it out. And you're going to bring your hands directly in front of your chest. Walk up onto your toes. And you're going to sink your hips forward just a little bit so that you're kind of in a plank position. So you're going to engage your glutes, zip up through the front of the pelvis, and inhale, lower yourself down. And exhale, press to lift. Opening up behind the right ribs. Gliding the hips a little bit to the left. Nico, shush. And one more time, inhale. And exhale, nice job. Go ahead and come out of that. Roll the shoulders out. Okay, so let's review your standing corrections. I'm going to face away from you. I want you to place your hands on your hips, and you're pressing down into your hands to lift the spine up tall. So you're trying to increase the distance between your pant line and your bra line. And now take your left hand and place it to the outside of your left hip. And glide your hips a little bit over to the left, press into that hand. And then you're going to take your hand to the outside of your right ribs and glide your ribs a little bit to the right and rotate them back on the right. And then you're going to keep your hips gliding over to the left and bring your left hand on top of your left shoulder, and the shoulders are going to come over to the left. Still reaching the right ribs out and back to the right. And then if you can maintain that, you're going to inhale through the nose. And exhale through the mouth, zipping up through the front of the pelvis, dropping the tailbone heavy towards the floor. And dropping the chin down, inhale. Good. Go ahead and relax, shake it out, and grab your chair. Okay, so have a seat on the chair. You're going to straddle it. Jeez. Straddle it. Feet are flat, and you're going to scoot yourself till you're like almost off the back of the chair here. Hands come to the top of the chair, and you're going to tip yourself just a little bit forward, pressing down into the feet, down into the arms, to lift the spine up nice and tall. Still opening up behind the right ribs and pressing down through that right hip, okay? So try not to be here, you're pressing down. And a little bit over to the left there. So on your inhale, I want you to reach your right arm overhead without pushing those ribs forward. And exhale, place it back down, pressing down. Inhale, switch sides. And exhale, return. And inhale. And exhale. And switch without pushing the ribs forward, zipping up through the front of the pelvis. Belly is gently pulling back towards the spine. And one more time, inhale, reach. And exhale, return. Go ahead, come out of that, roll the shoulders out. Okay, and we're going to flip around here. All right, so now we're focusing on keeping both sides of the waist nice and long. And you're going to press into your arms a little bit to lift the spine up tall. I want you to tip up and over to that right side. Sometimes it helps to put your hands here so that you can feel how much space you have on each side. So you have your thumbs at the bottom of the ribs, fingers at the top of the hips, and then you're going to tip up and over to the other side without rotating, and come back to center. And tip up and over, trying not to just side bend over to the side. So we're keeping both sides of the waist nice and long. And come back to center. So as you tip over, I'm going to the left, my right hip is getting a little bit lighter through the seat. Good, and now come over again to your other side. And back to center. Pulling back through the belly button one more time here. And back to center, nice job, roll the shoulders out. Okay. And you can place the chair off to the side. We're going to come down onto the mat next.